Good afternoon, good morning, good night, ladies and gentlemen, wherever in the world you guys are at right now. Peace and blessings to you. Also, welcome back to another episode of the University of Cosmic Awareness. I happens to be your man, ATP, or we can say Aidenthepayden. This is a mango. So what it is, before I actually go to bed, I like to use the bathroom before I go to bed. I like to brush my teeth. I like to eat a piece of fruits, whatever, any type of fruit you're eating. All fruits contains and it's high in this thing that's called fiber. Also, depending on the type of fruits you're eating, fruits is also this thing that's called monosaccharide. When I say monosaccharide, being that it's a fruit that you and I need in order to achieve, let's say, homeostasis. But you know how the world is. People may go out there and they may say, you know what, I'm gonna go and get some sugar or this sugar because they have a sweet tooth. Now, me, for instance, I don't like candy. I don't really like sugar. If I have a sweet tooth, I get me a piece of fruit. And it's not just that too, ladies and gentlemen, because the fruit itself, like I said, monosaccharide is one of the simple sugar that your body need, and it consists of literally three things. That's fructose, which is fruits, galactose, which is milk. You get that from a pregnant woman, and glucose, which is from all of your vegetables. So what it is people they may get a potato, which is a not a fruit but a vegetables. That's also a form of sugar because it's glucose. Vegetables is glucose, right? So let's say a person is suffering or experiencing the discomfort diabetes, whether it's diabetes type 1 or diabetes type 2. That person definitely doesn't need any potato or any french fries or even any rice, pasta, stuff like that. Now, when that breaks down in the gastrointestinal system, it's going to break down and it's going to turn to starch. Starch turns into sugar. The more sugar you have inside of your body, now you are creating a breeding ground for these things that's called pathogens to infest your beautiful body. I'll tell you something. There's lots of things that gets rid of pathogens. You could eat a mango, definitely. The mango doesn't only have its own nutrition that's going to pleomorph and bond with your DNA because it's a simple sugar. That's what you need, right? But let's say you go and actually take some sucrose, which is not a simple sugar, because in order to get some sucrose, what I'm speaking about now is table sugar. Table sugar, that's me using two process of the monosaccharide. Now I would use a glucose and a fructose in order to make a sucrose. That's two different sugar. Which is good. It's always good to eat. Pause. And I repeat, pause. Me, I love sucking on these seeds. What? Ladies and gentlemen, go get your mango. So, see the benefit of the mango, right? That mango got me licking my finger. So, the benefit of the mango actually contains, the mango actually contains carotenoid properties. Now, if I should speak on carotenoid properties, let's just say, excuse me, there's like four major minerals and nutrient that the body need in order to, let's say, maintain the leukocytes, right? And if we are going to actually speak on the leukocytes, then we also have to put the leukocytes right here to the side because we're going to be doing three things. We're going to be doing three things at the same time. Monosaccharide is consists of fructose, galactose, and glucose. So that's three things. We're going to be doing three things at the same time, right? So I just ate a mango, and being that I ate the mango itself has its own nutritional value benefits that's going to pleomorph and bond with your cellular decomposition. Now, that's exactly what you want. The mango, it's a sweet substance. It was also created by God. Okay, so let me clarify that. The mango was, or can I say the mango, it grows on a tree that's in the ground. So we know that it's not something that contains shelf life. A shelf life would have other preservatives inside of it to, in a sense, mess up your DNA or go ahead and mess up your leukocytes, right? Okay, so being that I've said that, I was just sucking on I was just sucking on the seed of the mango, and with the seed, just the seed alone, like I said, we're going to be doing three things, but just the mango seed, that is something that's called phytochrome. Okay, I hope you guys can hear me correctly. The mango, the seed of the mango is called phytochrome, or we can get a watermelon, or we can get a lemon lime. The watermelon and the lemon lime, even an orange, has seeds in there. Those all are considered phytochrome. Phytochrome is great for the body. This is why we would eat a watermelon and we would eat the seeds in the watermelon. This is why we would make lemonade, and gradually, I know that we don't normally eat the seeds of the lemonade, but somehow, apparently, we tend to drink a seed out of the lemonade from time to time. Now, you're still alive, you ain't gonna die. If you know that you ain't gonna die if you eat a seed from the lemonade, why not just do it from, like from time to time? You're not gonna die. The seed from the lemonade, or any other seeds from any fruit, period, because a lemonade, a lemon lime, that's actually a fruit. And oh my gosh, see, everything's coming in there because the lemon lime is actually alkaline. It's on the alkaline state. The reason why it's on the alkaline state is because the lemon or the lime does not, and I repeat, it does not, it has 0% sugar inside of it. Now that's a badass fruit. 0% sugar? Let me get that. Yeah, let me get that. I'm looking at this phytochrome thing, and I'm like, oh wow. So with the phytochrome, the more phytochrome you have inside of your system, that's how you're going to combat certain, let's say, how can I put this? Upset stomach. Can I do that? Or any gastroenteritis that you may have going on in the gastrointestinal system, like any little stomach problem. Like let's say a female, she's that time of the month or whatever, the more phytochrome you have inside of your body, it's going to be better. Now, when it comes to the carotenoid properties of the mango, now the mango itself, it has its own color, or should I say its own pigmentation. With its own pigmentation, I know it looks yellow like a banana. Anything that yellow that looks like a banana, that's called carotenoid properties. Carotenoid, what carotenoid does for the body, it in a sense, let's say, can I say it fights carcinogen? All right. So a carcinogen could be like any forms of cancer, um, that's like within your body. Literally any forms of like cancer that's within your body. Now, this thing, carotenoids, that's just one process. It fights certain carcinogen, right? But that's just one way. That's just one way. Because not just that too. If it's giving you carotenoids and you're eating a mango, so you're getting carotenoid properties. Carotenoid properties helps to increases the leukocytes. So that is actually a mineral and nutrients that's vital. Let's say 102. Well, I found a third one, so it's actually 103 minerals in the world. Ask yourself, how many minerals and nutrients do I intake within a given day? Am I intaking at least 100? Am I intaking at least 50? So within a day, if you don't normally intake the adequate amount of minerals and nutrient that your body need, therefore your body will be slowly breaking down, and next time you see one of your close friend, they haven't seen you in like a month or 2 3 weeks, they go be like, hey yo bro, you getting skinny, like what's going on? Yeah, see what happened is your body it started to eat itself, or should I say that your body starts to eat the muscle, which is actually a part of the musculatory system, right? And I'm like, wow, all of this is like, I was like, all of this is just like getting too confusing for me. Musculatory system and like how many freaking systems do we have in the body to begin with? Oh yeah, we have 12 body system. And I'm like, wow. So this affects the musculatory system. So what about the leukocytes? You're trying to tell me that, like, let's say if a person has HIV, or let's say if a person is experiencing AIDS happens to derive from HIV. See, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, me, ATP, the University of Cosmic Awareness, this is a free institution where anyone could come and like learn, literally learn about mitochondria. What that is, it's the powerhouse of the cells. And in today's lesson, we will be discussing leukocytes. Mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cells, we're going to be discussing the leukocytes. The leukocytes consist or contains, I'm going to say this, two types of blood cells. Wow. But if I'm speaking about blood, I might as well speak about blood. Now, let's put the leukocytes right here with the two types of blood cells, which we already know. We have the, what is it, the CD4 T cells, and we have our regular B cells. So with the regular B cells, a regular B cell's job is to circulate the circulatory system as well as the hemoglobin. Well, see, like the circulatory system is like literally a part and attached to the hemoglobin. So that's your blood. So the B blood cell would basically live, well, not live, but embedded, circulating through the red blood cells, looking for these things that's called antibody. They're like, what is this guy talking about? What is antibody? What is this and what is that? Okay, no problem. I'll tell you. The mango has its own job. The mango is supposed to give you back a little bit of gasoline inside of this body, right? So if the mango puts back a little bit of energy inside of your body, but it's not all the energy that you required. You also need, let's say you need a mango, an orange, an apple, you need some grapes, you need some dragon fruit, you need some strawberries, you need regular food, depending on whatever type of food you guys eat. For instance, me, I don't eat meat at all. I'm not bashing anyone that eats meat. That is something that you have to take up with your creator. This is it, right? He created the heavens and the earth. He created the animals. He gives us like man in a sense, not woman, because the woman's job is different from a man's job. But he gives me dominion, dominion over all things. Y'all got me fucked up if you think I'm not gonna learn about the body. You feel me? Like I said, if I don't learn about the body, this right here is my brain. It's not your brain. Your brain has your own quirk. My brain has its own quirk. Not every two quirks is alike. Each and every person, we may have similar quirk, and we may have the same quirk in the same field, medicine. Now, my quirk may be stronger than this person, or this person's quirk may be stronger than mine. But that doesn't mean we can't compare ideas, right? So, one second. Okay. So, when it comes down to it, we have carotenoids. We have phytochrome, we have flavonoids, and we have chlorophyll. So, let's do it. Carotenoids, chlorophyll, phytochrome, and flavonoids. These four things, right? These four things alone would, in a sense, it's like I'm not trying to get in trouble for this. So, ladies and gentlemen, for everyone that's just joining in to my channel, the University of Cosmic Awareness, I happen to be your man ATP. That's Aidenthepayden, or we can say at this point. Well, at this point, me, myself, ATP, I'm not a doctor and I do not have any certificate in medicine. I just wanted to put that out there for YouTube guidelines. Also, when it comes to the carotenoid, flavonoids, phytochrome, and flavonoids, like these things is what's going to increase, can I say, increase your CD CD4 T cells. Wow, well said, Aiden. So when it comes to your TD4 cell, right? That's a part of the leukocytes. And when we come back to the leukocytes does not contains the red blood cell, because that's something totally different. The red blood cells actually, it has an oxygen, can I say, a oxygen membrane embedded within the cells of the blood, or can I say that the blood itself is a highway, and we have these oxygen embedded within that highway that's traveling throughout your body, because the hemoglobin goes through the circulatory system. and it's also a part of the respiratory system. So if it's circulating, we have these antibodies, which is the B blood cell from the leukocyte circulating, looking for antibodies. Now, this is where everyone get confused because they're gonna be like, "What is this guy talking about? Circulating, looking for antibodies." The B blood cells is the only cell in your body that would go out there and search and look for a virus. And when he see that virus, he's gonna page the CD4 T cells. And when he page him and he pull up, it's like SWAT team pulling up. And they murking everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, they murking everyone. Sometimes you gotta talk like this to not in a sense catch the audience, but like we are humans, right? We don't have to use just 1/10% of our brain. We can exercise. Practice makes perfect, and we can try to, in a sense, be more like our higher self. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm looking at these things and I'm like, wow, if a person's suffering from HIV, or let's say they're even suffering from AIDS, we already know that it's a T cell and a B cell, which is the CD T cell and the B cell. It's just like those two cells are in jeopardy. All right. So let me tell you why it's in jeopardy. So a person will normally develop this thing that's called a overactive immune system, and the reason why they would get a overactive immune system is this normally because of the B blood cells like doing too much work, right? The B blood cell doesn't need to do too much work, so much work, because it's already looking for antibodies like viruses, pathogens. That's what we call them in the medical field. We call it pathogens, and like these pathogens tend to range from protozoa, worm, bacteria, fungi, um, you name it, right? I'm looking at that and I'm like, wow. So all of these people out there that's suffering from HIV, AIDS, and other underlying condition, it's just because they feel sorry for themselves, and I guess perhaps they are a little bit too scared to help themselves because God gives you a life. How you just gonna let your life just like leave you just like that without you trying? Or, well, in a sense, learn about, like, let's see, food that would actually increase your leukocytes. See, if you have a overactive immune system, so we already know the B blood cells is looking for something. Now, if your CD T cells is low, you already know. All right, this is for everyone that's listening. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but this is for everyone that's listening. If your CD T cells is low, something is wrong with you. Like if your T cells is low, something is definitely wrong with you. And how we are going to fix that? This is the University of Cosmic Awareness. We are aware of everything, and we have ways to not not cure but alleviate each and every discomfort that a person may be experiencing. Duh. You wasn't born with HIV. You wasn't born with AIDS. You wasn't born with herpes. You wasn't born with diabetes. You wasn't born with bad lungs. I mean, perhaps you was born with two lungs, and there's something happened down the line where now you have one lungs or whatever. That doesn't mean your life is over. You still have your life. God doesn't give anyone more than they can handle. So, how we are going to do this is we are going to educate ourselves. And I'm coming for that obesity as well. But let's concentrate on this leukocytes, right? So, what it is like we already know our immune system. We already know that the immune system is consist of not two but three cells. All right, I'm getting a phone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna cut it short, but like I said, I'm not a doctor. All right, back, ladies and gentlemen. I had a little phone call. So this is actually for everyone or anyone that's well, this is for everyone that's experiencing, let's say, AIDS or HIV within the body. Um, I can break it down and I could tell you what to eat, but it's easy because what it is God is so good, right? So God is so good. God let you only takes one thing at a time. So this is how it is, how I've analyzed it, right? So a person is experiencing some form of discomfort in their body where they're experiencing HIV or AIDS. That is the easiest discomfort to get rid of. But in society makes it deemed to be the hardest because in this situation, right? Look at this. In this situation, it's your immune system, and people may say, okay, let's concentrate on the immune system. Yeah, I mean, concentrating on the immune system is good, and like in order for a person to be sick, it's not the B blood cell. The B blood cell is plentiful. Can I say two to at least 2 to 3 thousand, at least 2 to 3 thousand B cells each and every human has in his body. But the CD4 T cells, we have around 1,000. Yeah, one second. So we have like 1,000 of the T cells. Now, the T cells is the only one that goes out there and literally fights and would lay down their life for us. That's why they died so fast. And if it's actually dying and you're losing a lot of T cells, something is really, really, really wrong with you. So let's fix it. So remember, it's not only an immune system problem, because in order for a person to, all right, to come up with HIV or AIDS, I'm going to give you 4 ways, right? So we could do vaginal, like a female's vagina of the fluid. That's one. We can do a male semen, right? That's two. Number three, like if a female, if she's experiencing zygote. Now, zygote, what is it? Zygote, zygote. That's the fertilization of my semen and a female's egg. And you fuse that, you have a baby. When the baby comes, the mom would give her breast milk, and the breast milk may contains the virus. So that's three. And the fourth is through the blood, which is the hemoglobin. Yet it's an immune system problem, right? So if we know that it's the immune system problem, and we know that the immune system is linked with all of these 12 systems inside of the body. It's not just one system is compromised. No, more system is compromised because the immune system, the circulatory system, and the respiratory system. So you have 3 things that's wrong with you now. Duh, literally 3 things that's wrong with you: immune system, circulatory, and respiratory. Remember, respiratory also has to deal with your breathing. That's where you have um the bronchial tubes, which like through the nose, and I could actually breathe through, because the bronchial tubes isn't it comes through from the lungs. I don't have like the human body right now to show y'all, but the bronchial tubes, like that's how you breathe. But like everything comes from the lungs, right? And like I said, your lungs is very important because you have two lungs. You can move it, like your pleural cavity, the pleural cavity, or like the pleural space. Like you have one lungs over here, one lungs over here. So that's respiratory, right? Circulatory, which is the blood, is linked and is a connection to the respiratory system. Well, all of these is also in a connection to the immune system. So this is why I give you three things that's wrong with you: circulatory system, the respiratory system, and the immune system. And we already know that the respiratory system, that's your bronchial tubes, your lungs, stuff like that, in order for you to breathe, right? Now watch this. In order for you to breathe, the blood has to have enough oxygen. The blood has to have enough oxygen. Now, what gives the body oxygen? All right. So the atmosphere and trees gives the planet, trees give the planet oxygen, right? What gives the human body oxygen inside of the lungs? I said it earlier. It was four things. Remember, carotenoids, flavonoids, chlorophyll, and phytochrome. So out of these four, we're going to take the chlorophyll because chlorophyll is going to aid and give you back more oxygen. So now the blood is actually going to be able to carry more nutrients throughout the body. I'm not a doctor. Anyway, now that the blood is carrying more nutrients throughout the entire body, you can breathe now, right? That's good. You can breathe. But it's not just that, too, because the blood itself, you're going to need something other than chlorophyll to combat that, right? And when it comes to the blood, okay, we can use each and every fruits or vegetables that contains or give the color or the pigmentation red. So you trying to tell me that if I eat me some tomatoes, like if I just like eat me some tomatoes for like a whole month, constantly eating tomatoes for like a whole month, like that's gonna change my diet for the better? Count me in. Well, you telling me if I eat some what is it called, the beetroots and stuff like that, that's actually gonna purify my blood over time? Okay, count me in. So I use two things just now, the tomato and the beetroot, but like that's like purifying the blood and stuff like that. You have to purify the blood. The reason why you have to purify the blood, you have pathogens in the blood. You have viruses and bacteria within the blood. What you eat, right? What you eat, it's either going to create a breathing ground for these pathogens, or it's either going to kill them. You have two choices. Either you let them grow or you let them die, right? So we already know what types of food to eat. I gave y'all two. Tomatoes, that's a red pigmentation, and a beetroot, that's also another red pigmentation. Also, each and every red fruit, red vegetables has this thing inside of it that gives the body this thing that's called lycopene. Lycopene, that's how you get rid of certain carcinogen within the body. Like I said, carcinogen is like cancer, cancerous cells, and you know. So I'm like, wow. So we just got to concentrate on the blood, the respiratory system, and the immune system. What gives us immune system again? That's what I was thinking about. Oh yeah, I remember, because we're not concentrating on the B blood cell. The B blood cell is plentiful. We have plenty of that. What we need to concentrate on is the T cells because we don't have a lot of that, right? So this is how you do it. You would go get the fruit that's called a jackfruit, right? Like literally, it's called a jackfruit. And you can also boil the seeds of the jackfruit. It's like these big seeds. You can boil the seeds of the jackfruit and you can eat that. Um, the seeds of the jackfruit, that's phytochrome, right? The more phytochrome you have inside of your body, it's going to aid those microbiota that's within the gastrointestinal system, that's your stomach. Because the first fight or the first battle that you experience in your life actually starts from the mouth, but then it goes down the esophagus and now it's inside of the stomach. Prior to the hydrochloric acid inside of your stomach, you have a lot of bacteria inside of the stomach. So, so that's the first battle for the human. Then it leaves the large intestines, small intestines, duodenum, and then it goes straight to the hemoglobin, which is the blood. Anything that's wrong with the hemoglobin, right? So y'all could Google, what gives me blood? What type of fruits? What type of listen, not what type of food, what type of fruits, what types of vegetables I can eat to gain blood. It's so simple. You're going to get a variety of foods that's essential for you. But if you want to actually gain and increases, because I'm not a doctor and I strongly believe, like this way. So if your CD4 T cells are down and it's going down, something's wrong. But if you get it back up, everything is fine with you, right? Okay, so this fruit is called a jackfruit. Very good, very good. I'm getting on the phone. I have to cut it short. Okay, so guys, actually, I was just like, I had all of these ideas. I was just like thinking about it. I'm here at my job. I do have a regular job. I do like demolition. I'm working overnight. I did this bathroom right here, so medicine isn't the only thing that I do. I try to find other things to do in my life, but like my go one thing is medicine. Um, like just breaking down the human body, dissecting and decoding it. And I just want to say, like, if a person out there is like experiencing that discomfort in their body, just concentrate on food that increases the immune system. Literally, food that increases the immune system. These are your shellfish, like those little those shellfish, those big little clamp things, those shellfish. It has it's very high on this thing that's called iodine. And iodine is also like salt, but it's like a different salt. Like this is like I don't really consent to this because I don't eat anything that's alive, really, other than all right, I don't want to contradict myself. So I do eat fish, but that's basically the only thing that's alive that I think I eat. So yeah, only fish. But the clams, themselves, they're very high on, like, it's actually good for you. Great source of omega-3, as well as it helps to improve your immune system. Okay, so that's one. We have also any forms of nuts, walnuts, cashews, any forms of nuts. Nuts also increases your immune system. Okay, so we have also the jackfruit. The jackfruit also increases your immune system. We have the dragon fruits. The dragon fruits also increases your immune system. Uh, Certain things that increases your blood via via a chlorophyll or your regular string beans and your okra. Okay, did I say that correctly? Your regular string beans and your okras, like even if a person is experiencing diabetes and they just like eat string beans and okras for like a whole month, you don't have any more diabetes because you just like change everything inside of your body for real. So like even if a person is losing like their T blood cells and let's say the count is like at least 200 now and it's not 1,000 anymore, um you can just like keep on eating food that consist of increasing your immune system. You do not need anything else in this world. All you need is food that's going to increase your immune system because each and every day these pathogens is sucking you dry. So you have to replenish what these pathogens is for you and something. Did I say that correctly? Anything. And I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, anything that's bitter because every kids in the world, they love sour candy, candy that's sour. Ooh, daddy, ooh, mommy, can I get a sour power? Can I get one of those sour thing that? Yeah. So we're gonna use the opposite effect. Each and every items in the world, especially if it's well, it has to be real, like shelf life, something that grows on the tree. We're talking about like certain teas. For instance, we have the Sorosi tea. That's a very bitter, 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 bitter tea. That right there is gonna, man, you drink some Sorosi tea right now and you have HIV, you're gonna feel great for like 2 days, and you drink the Sorosi tea again for like the next day, and the next day, and the next day after that. In less than 2 months, your blood count, your everything, um, CD for T cells is up. Like you is healthy as a ox. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't be a gnat to what's going on. You live in the world. Like me, hold on. Y'all got me fucked up. I'm not in this alone. We are in this thing that's called life together. So let's have a wonderful experience together and learn about the human body. On that note, remember me, I am not a doctor, but I'm out.